Most of the funny stories I know about Dean, I did not want to put on tape.
He's one of those persons that's so easy to be around. If you want to roast somebody, you want Dean to do it.
He is a character whenever he's ready to be.
Dean's father, George Zervas, grew up in the tiny village of Asini, Greece. At 19, after the early death of his father, he came to the United States by himself in order to support his sister and widowed mother. He started out in the Chicago area, but eventually found his way to Pawhuska, Oklahoma, where a small Greek community was established.
And once he was in Pawhuska, which at that time was the height of the Osage wealth and the oil business, he established a business called the Chocolate Shop. He became a confectioner. And honestly, I don't know how he invented himself to become a confectioner, but he was successful at it. So he went back and married my mom, brought her to Pawhuska in 1927. And they began their families. My brother Sperry was born in 28, and then I was born in 1939. And in 39, they moved to Bartlesville, and they started a restaurant called the Canteen Drive-In.
Dean's father passed away in 1948, leaving his mother to run the restaurant and raise 9-year-old Dean and his older brother Sperry.
My grandmother raised my uncle and my dad with every ounce of strength in her body and kept the restaurant going and used and had enough funding to put them through college.
Sperry and I were really best friends. He was more than a brother to me. He was my mentor, not only in life, also in our profession.
My Uncle Sperry went through dental school and then did his time with the Air Force. And when he got out, it was time for my dad to go to school. He helped my dad pay for college and then pay for dental school. And once my dad was done with dental school, my dad assumed my uncle's dental practice and then helped my uncle go through orthodontic school.
He was a great inspiration to me, and I tried to emulate him.
My dad was raised in Tulsa, so I knew Oklahoma well. I would come in the summers and spend time with my cousins, and I loved this part of the country. And I think I was an Okie even though I lived in California.
In the late 60s, when Kathy was in college, the company her dad worked for, TRW, bought out Retta Pump Company and moved her family to Bartlesville. Kathy graduated in 1972 and then moved to Bartlesville to start a teaching job. Soon after, she met Dean.
When I would go to work, I would see Kathy going to work. And I thought, she's really a pretty cute gal. But I had a friend ask me, he said, he was single as well. He said, you don't know any girl, cute girls that are around? I said, well, as a matter of fact, I do. I said, why don't you call up Kathy Dunn? I said, she's really cute. So we did. And they started dating. And I got to thinking about that, and I thought, well, that was really a dumb thing to do.
He called me up out of the blue and said, do you remember me? And actually I did, because he made a comment at the wedding that I couldn't forget. Like, when are you guys going to get married, to this boy that I was dating? And that was I don't know, it's just kind of when you get to know Dean, it's the way he is. He wants to know everything about you. He's a great listener.
6 months later, Dean and Kathy were married. They began their married life in Bartlesville, and soon they became parents to Stephen, Melissa, and Dana. Dean and his brother Sperry built a well-respected dental practice, which they owned for nearly 30 years. In 2011, Dean retired and sold the practice to Heath Potter.
He didn't just retire. He started a free clinic, a free dental clinic, and he did this out of his own pocket. He did this without fanfare or recognition. He got a lot of dental equipment companies to donate equipment, and it is a first-class dental facility.
He worked with private donations, grants from foundations, suppliers, manufacturers, and created an incredible clinic that any dentist would love to have for their own.
I've been doing it now for 8 years since I retired. And as I said, it's really a privilege to be able to provide these people, because there's no other venue or outlet for them to receive health care.
He is a multifaceted man with so much depth and dimension, which makes him relatable to everyone he meets. This is a real talent of his that sets him apart. And even in his retirement, he dedicates his time and energy to provide those who are less fortunate free dental care.
Both Kathy and Dean grew up with a strong religious background, and as a couple they quickly became involved at St. Luke's Episcopal Church in Bartlesville.
To say Dean has a sense of humor is really an understatement. For example, he was an usher at our 8 o'clock service, and you never knew what he was going to do. We have a bell in the back that we would use to signal for people to stand when we're starting, and he would loosen the rope so when you pull on it, nothing would happen.
We have an absolutely gorgeous sitting area, garden area at the church, and it's as neat as it is primarily because Kathy got involved and decided it needed to be done better than it was being done.
One of the things that she's done for years, as far back as I can remember, is looked after the landscaping of the church, renovating landscaping, renovating the courtyard, doing a whole variety of things to make things look really pleasant and inviting on the outside.
The Zervas family has been involved in the ballet in a big way over the years, with both their daughters dancing up through their high school years and beyond. And they really have a deep love of the ballet through their children as well.
I don't know where we'd be without her, I'll say that. She's, an amazing woman, and I adore her on a personal level and a professional, I guess, level, but she's done so much. She's given hours and hours of time and energy and behind the scenes that people don't even realize sometimes.
With their passion for art, Dean and Kathy were instrumental in creating the Woolaroc National Art Show.
Dean had this dream of a national art show at Woolaroc, I think for a long time. I think he had pitched it way before I got there, and it just didn't get carried through on. And so back in like 2011 is when he and I first talked about doing one, and Dean came to me and said, he knew the artists around the country very well. He knew the galleries very well, the collectors very well, and so that would not be a problem, and really was encouraging us to embrace it.
When you go to a museum, you look at the art, and they're all different frames. And if you change the frame on a painting, you change how you see the painting. And you can change a painting drastically by changing the frame. But Woolaroc, the frames are all the same, and it's out of the patented bark that they have developed at Woolaroc, and that's something that's very unique, you don't see. And you have to kind of suddenly realize, wait a minute, the frames here are all the same.
It was a pivotal thing for Woolaroc because it raised the national profile of recognition for this institution, this queen of the Osage, if you will, that lying dormant for so many years.
Up until that time, Woolaroc was pretty much a low-profile museum in Oklahoma. But as a result of Dean and Kathy's efforts, they put on a national art show which brought in people who flew in from all over the United States.
And he has reached out to the artists, and the very best artists in the country. And at first they didn't know who Woolaroc was. They certainly do today. If you go to a gallery in Scottsdale or in Jackson Hole or in Los Angeles and say you're from Woolaroc Museum in Bartlesville, they'll, oh yeah, we know about you. And that wouldn't have happened without the art show, and the art show wouldn't have happened without Dean and Kathy. So I really give Kathy credit. I reluctantly give Dean credit, but that's okay. So, but no, they've been great friends of Woolaroc, great ambassadors for Woolaroc, and we certainly now have a much, much better national exposure than we ever had before.
Dean and Kathy are what I would call prisms of Christ. They just know how to love God and love other people, and they do it in such an authentic, genuine way that it's just so winsome and life-changing for people who work with them.
They don't do anything for the credit or the glory, but they do it for our community because they live here and they're going to live here, and they want it to be vibrant. They are essentially just the cream of the crop.
Dean and Kathy, I just want to say congratulations. What an honor it is to call you friends, and what an honor it is for you to receive this award. I can't imagine a family that's more deserving and a family that's given so much to the Bartlesville community. From all of us at the ballet and in Bartlesville, thank you.
We just love you dearly, and we wish you all the best, and thank you.
I've been pleased and proud to know you and work with you over all these years, and thank you so much. What a gift of God you are to so many people.
We are so happy to be here with you tonight and to celebrate with you, and we are thankful because we can now carry this legacy on in our own lives through our communities and to make a change and a difference where we are. So thank you so much for everything you've done. We love you, and we are so happy for you.
Kathy and Dean, we couldn't be happier to have you be recognized and honored by the Bartlesville Community Foundation for your dedication to the arts over the years. Our hats are off to you.
Kathy, congratulations. It's certainly an honor, well deserved. Dean, once again, you're hanging on to Kathy's coattails and riding it into glory, and I'm not surprised, but glad to call both of you friends, and congratulations to both of you.
Congratulations, you two. It's your parents would be very proud of you.